Hi! Today we're going to make cranberry sauce from scratch, from fresh, whole cranberries, which is a product from Wisconsin. I would like you to know that's where we are in Wisconsin. Very, very simple. The only ingredients we have are cranberries, sugar, and water. And cranberries are a wonderful berry to get to know. We're going to get started with the recipe, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about some of the nutrition in the berries. But in the fall, you can get fresh whole cranberries in the produce section of your grocery store. And then after that, you can get frozen whole cranberries in the freezer section. And I'm going to use this pan here for a minute and put some of these in here. This recipe calls for using this entire bag of cranberries, and this is 12 ounces. The recipe's on the bag. It's super simple, and you can embellish the recipe in lots of ways. I think to get started for your very first Thanksgiving, simpler is better. And I like the simple, plain cranberry sauce too. I use it at Thanksgiving, of course, but also I use it a lot for chicken dishes, ham dishes, pork dishes, and even salmon. It makes a nice side dish for salmon. But so you pour the entire bag in, and then I like to go through it a little bit and see if there are any that are like this one. This one's kind of squished. I don't want to use this one. That one's kind of icky. So that goes in the sink. And also another name for cranberries is bounceberry. Well, they bounce. I just learned that. I thought that was fun. Alright, so anyway, we have 12 ounces of cranberries. We have 1 cup of water. This is in a liquid measuring cup so that there's some space above the measure so you can get it across the counter or across the kitchen without spilling it. There goes that. We have 1 cup of sugar. This is a dry measure. This measure comes all the way up to the top. So I am simply going to stick it into my sugar, kind of shake it to level it, pull it out. That's 1 cup of sugar. Pour it in there, move this stuff off to the side, turn on my heat. I have a gas stove, but I also use lots of electric stoves and induction stoves and all kinds of things. And this is a pretty heavy bottom pan. It doesn't make that much difference in this recipe. And so you just cook it until these start popping, and then the sauce will thicken all on its own. It'll be just wonderful as it is. Alright, cranberries are super nutritious. They are loaded with vitamin C and loaded with fiber when you have the whole berry. That's not the case when you have cranberry juice. They also can help prevent and treat urinary tract infections and kidney stone. They can't treat a kidney stone, but you could, if you drink or eat cranberries regularly, you can help prevent kidney stones. They're loaded with antioxidants, and the fresh ones have the most, then come the dried, and then comes the juice that has the least antioxidants. And they also act as a probiotic, meaning that they enhance and encourage the growth of healthy bacteria in our GI tracts and reduce the growth of harmful bacteria. So that's important in GI health and oral and dental health, which is of course part of our GI system. So also other ways that I use fresh cranberries. I just love to have them, and I buy them in the fall in the bags like that, throw the whole bag in the freezer and use them later. They're wonderful in muffins, they're wonderful in quick breads. I mix them with apples and make an apple cranberry crisp. I use them to make a salad dressing where I cook them very much like I'm doing here, with not quite as much sugar. And then I puree it and thin it out and add some herbs, and it makes a wonderful, fat-free, nice consistency salad dressing. So cranberries are very much an ingredient that I would like you to use a lot. And we're going to cook it for a few minutes here, and pretty soon you'll be able to hear it pop. It's not super important that you keep stirring it, although it doesn't hurt if you do. I'm hearing a little like the air escaping out of some of them. That's what makes them them bounce is they have chambers of air inside that also makes them float, and when they're being harvested, they flood the fields, the bogs they call them, and the cranberries float up to the top, and then they rope them in. Can you hear that? Okay, they're getting way up to the top. They're kind of foaming and they're floating and they're popping and splitting. I turn down the heat a little. When it starts to splatter over the side, if you turn down the heat, your stove will stay cleaner. Okay, as it starts to approach lava, it starts to bubble up, and carefully you don't get it on you. I turn the heat down again, and I'm just going to stir it just a little bit longer, let it go a little longer. And that's it. And then all you'll have to do is let it cool. This also keeps a really long time in the fridge, so no reason not to make the whole batch and eat it little by little. Okay, we're done. This is a nice consistency. It looks like every cranberry has popped. I don't have any floaters. And it's chunky. I'll show you. Let's see if I can show you that. Here, as we go, we're dropping some off. So I'm turning off the heat. We're done. We just let it cool. Okay, so this is super hot. You have to be really careful not to burn yourself. So I'm not sure that I want to try this yet. And also, you don't want to taste your stuff leaning over the stove because you don't want stuff to go into your pot. So, let's see if I can get it cool enough. It's perfect. Of course, it's perfect. Super simple, perfect. So, I just let it cool down to room temperature and put it in the fridge. That easy. Thanks.